Brittany, does it feel like across the country there's a more normal pace and pattern to horse racing than, say, 6, 7 weeks ago?
Oh, absolutely. You can feel it with all of the racing that's coming back, but even the energy. And speaking with my dad, who's based at Santa Anita, just the energy on the backside is different as well because now they're up and running. And I've said this before, racing in the afternoon is the economic engine that funds everything in the morning. So to have horses out there on the track, even without spectators, I think it's very uplifting to everyone on the backside. So for those in New York, fantastic that Belmont was up and running. And I believe the Belmont Stakes, which is coming up in 2 weeks, is really going to be the first major sporting event in New York. So I can just imagine what kind of excitement that brings to everyone in New York. But it is different. We are rocking and rolling on TVG and the simulcast on NBC Sports Network. So yes, even though it's still coming to you from home, it feels very busy and a much more normal way of doing things than I guess we had in the past, Mike.
Yeah, I noticed the race pace last weekend had quickened a little bit with more tracks open. You mentioned Santa Anita and your dad. Santa Anita Derby comes up this weekend. What's a headline or two out of that, which we're going to have on NBCSN and simulcast with TVG at 6 Eastern time?
Well, it always starts with Bob Baffert, does it not? He is absolutely loaded with talented runners. It was unfortunate to hear of the injury and early retirement of Nadal, who, for me personally, I thought was the top 3-year-old. But he has another undefeated horse in Authentic. So he headlines the race. Just 7 horses set to go a mile and an eighth in the Santa Anita Derby. But he is going to have to fend off a very talented and good looking horse in Honor AP. Now, that's for trainer John Shirreffs, who won the Kentucky Derby with Giacomo and, of course, was the trainer of the great Zenyatta. So 7 horses in that race. And I'm going to be a little bit biased here, Mike. My dad has a horse in the race, too. So just had to throw that in there.
Well, I was going to mention it, so you took care of that. Took the nepotism, just kept it under the roof there, which is just fine. Brittany, let's talk for a minute about Belmont, because that is in 2 weeks. It's a very odd change to the Triple Crown schedule. The last goes first, and then everything moves back a little bit. It's going to be a different collection of horses, yet when we start to look at the field as it's shaping up, we may have a really strong Belmont field here in a couple of weeks in New York.
It could be one of the most competitive Belmont Stakes that we've seen in some time because, as you mentioned, it's typically the third leg of the Triple Crown, and it's typically a mile and a half. We have a new distance now going a mile and an eighth, and it kicks off the Triple Crown series. So you potentially could see a fuller field than we've ever seen before in a more competitive field. It is essentially, and this is what Tiz the Law, one of the top 3-year-old contenders connections, are saying, the Belmont Stakes will be like the Kentucky Derby. So I cannot wait to be out there live on site working with you, bringing the Belmont Stakes to those folks at home that are watching, because it's going to be different. It's going to be unique, but I think it'll be unforgettable, and we'll try and capture really the essence of the moment live on site.
Yeah, it will be very unique. We're just starting to put the production pieces together of that, and it's just odd to start getting our minds wrapped back around racing and competition. Overall, Brittany, we only have 30 seconds left. Just a headline for you as how the industry has come through the COVID-19 shutdown as more tracks are opening up.
I think it as a more powerful, stronger industry as a whole. Collectively, I think we've seen the industry come together in more ways than one. And I think that's been pretty beautiful. During hard times, you see people come together. And I think that's what we've seen with the industry, who's more like a family than anything else.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.